Hello! It's been a while. Thought I'd make this video. I wanted to catch you guys up because it's about time I got back into making videos and doing what I really love, which is filmmaking and all this. I've been on this sort of journey for some time, but now I'm ready to jump back in. And so I'll start with catching you guys up on what's been going on since, since I've been gone. You might remember the last video I made was about me going to India. Now, that was, what a trip that was. So, in order to properly give you guys a taste, unfortunately, I didn't bring a good camera or anything. I just brought my phone because going to India was for yoga teacher training in the Isha Foundation, which is in Coimbatore, India. Now, what I wanted to do was just dive in. I wanted to experience this, and a lot of this was a personal journey for me. I really wanted to see what happens when you just give yourself totally to it. And so I went. I spent all my money that I had saved up, and I went and stayed at this ashram. The teacher training was intense. I mean intense. It was 6 months, basically. So 21 weeks, which is about 5.5 months of just non-stop. I was living in an ashram, which is like, in case you don't know what an ashram means a place which is designed specifically for your growth. And there's many different ways to do an ashram. But generally, though, it's all spiritually oriented. So this happens in different ways. This is like a Buddhist ashram, for example, would be teaching the ways of Buddha, or there might be some other types that are teaching different kinds of practices and stuff. This one is a little bit more aimed at doing things classically, like the way they've been for thousands of years, and teaching it in a way that's applicable to how things are in modern times. And then on top of that, they've tried to remove as much of the religious aspects that have developed over the years, because they want this to work for the world. So this is the way they taught. Meticulous detail, and oh man, it was a lot. I learned so much about things I didn't even know existed. And so anyway, all I have to show you are things which are all filmed on my iPhone, because I didn't really bring a camera. I just wanted to be there, right? Part of that meant I didn't get a SIM card when I was there for the first 6 months. So I just was there with no way, I didn't want to deal with my phone. Half the time I left it aside. But I did a few little clips here and there, which I'll play. Alright, so it's the day before Guru Purnima, which is the day that our program officially starts. And ignore this black spot on my forehead. This trip, I learned so much. I mean, the people in India, particularly in this ashram, which is almost like its own country, really, the way it works inside, it's fantastic. But the thing that's amazing about it is this. Everyone, and when I say everyone, I mean there are hundreds of people who are just full-on, they've given themselves, they're like monks basically, it's called brahmachari. They're 100% all in on developing their inner nature. And so there's like, a couple hundred of them, and then there's a couple thousand full-time resident volunteers. They just live there and this is all they do. And they've done things like set Guinness World Records for the most trees planted with their project Green Hands. And then there's this thing called Rally for Rivers, which is a huge national movement to restore India's rivers by planting a kilometer of trees on either side of each river. Then there's this big movement to try and ban single-use plastic bags. Because remember, India has over 1 billion people. That's a lot of people. I'm from the US and we have maybe 330 million people for the whole country. And India is a smaller country in terms of size and like 4 times as many people. It's pretty crazy. Everywhere you go, there's just people. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff that this organization's doing. And when they do something, they do it. They're all in, and it's really incredible to see because it's just a huge volunteer organization. Aren't really like paid positions, right? Most of the people are not touching anything to do with money. There's no room to be corrupted or sucked into the money game. They're just giving themselves totally. It's really impressive, and the yoga teacher training is no exception. The entire school is volunteer-based. Like all the teachers who are running the school are all volunteers at the ashram. So, and in that, I've never seen a school of any kind that has this sort of alumni support and connection. They hold everyone together. People who are alumni come back and volunteer for the subsequent batches and give back to the new teachers to make this experience happen for them, for the new teachers, the way it happened for the alumni. That's the kind of connection you have. And every year there's upgrades where you come back and they give us silence upgrades because you learn the importance of being silent within yourself. And then they teach new practices. And I've just never seen anything like this in the world. It's incredible. Through this process, I developed a lot as myself. And you might have saw before, I had like long hair, I shaved that off. And I got these earrings now, and these are superficial things, but at the moment they were points in this whole process where I decided that I had some resistance to something within myself and I wanted to break it. So like shaving my head was this like resistance. I was like, God, I don't want to shave my head. I don't want to be bald. I didn't want to be bald. You know, I thought I was gonna look bad, and I don't think I looked good, but still I did it to break a limitation, to push past something which I was resisting. And one of the things I've learned on this whole experience is that a lot of people go about life following their bliss, right? That's the thing they think they're supposed to do. And I found that may work for some people, but I think a large amount of people, and in particularly myself, you should do what makes you happy, but you still have to face the things that are difficult in your life and not side skirt them or run away trying to be something, right? You need to really dive in fully. So that's what I did. I faced all these things which I found very difficult, these resistances, tears shed. But I found that I was experiencing things which I didn't know were even possible. And all that to say that I've found that this is something I want to give back to other people in a big way. And that's why I went to the teacher training in the first place, because I had experienced what Isha had to offer through their programs, and I went through them and it was amazing, and I want to give that back. So I learned how with the teacher training, and if anything I realized how dumb I am. I'm so stupid. But that's kind of the whole point. When you realize you're dumb, then you actually start paying attention to things instead of being arrogant, thinking you know everything, and then you just miss it all. So anyway, now I'm back to this point. I'm back to the point where I'm on YouTube. And the reason is, when I started YouTube, I didn't feel like I had fun making goofy videos, but I didn't know that I really had anything worthwhile sharing. I didn't know anything. And now I feel like there's still a lot that I don't know, but I have figured out how to not have problems anymore in my life, how to not really be stressed about anything anymore, how to make your life in such a way that it's lubricated. It turns out there's actually a systematic, like a method, a technology, a way to bring about this within yourself that there's just nothing else like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like this is the only way. There are many ways to get there, but the more you dive into all this, the more you realize that there is actually a science of yoga. Yoga is not just body bending nonsense, like, oh, I'm just gonna twist myself like a pretzel. And don't get me wrong, there are still benefits to that. It's just that that's one of many, many ways to get to this one point, which is a way of being within yourself. And that is, there's no amount of money which you can give to get this. It has nothing to do with external things. It's a choice of how to be within yourself. And there's a way to get there, a systematic method. You do this, you breathe this way, you sit this way, you move this way, and this will happen. You can do things which will make your life better, and that's such a huge deal. So that's what this channel is going to be. It's going to be all geared toward working with you and helping you to be the best you that you can be, and in ways that are practical and simple. And I'll try and connect everything with as much of the scientific things that are coming out, the studies and whatever, and practical steps that you can take to put it to use. I'll try and make it as logical as I can, because I know it's just annoying when people say things that are, it sounds nice, but what does that mean? And you don't know. So the way I look at everything is that you just don't know anything that's not in your experience. You think, you feel, you believe, but you don't know. So I don't want to tell you to believe things. I want you to have things you can try for yourself and experience and see if it works for you. I'm here to give you insights into how to use this system in practical, bite-sized pieces, because I want you to grow. I want you to experience this, what I've experienced, which is that you can just be, and it's really nice. I can't describe to you how nice it is. So that's my goal. I'm going to give this to you, and if you're still watching this video and that's something you want, then stick around. I'm gonna try and do this in a enjoyable cinematic way. In case you don't know, I was an actor for some time in Atlanta. I learned a lot about the filmmaking process, so I'm going to take those skills and mix it with the information I've learned and try and make these really enjoyable presentations, these simple bites. And I'm going to show you other teachers that I met along the way, these beautiful humans who have many different skills. I'll show you how you can look at the world through the lens of yoga. Whether it's photography or architecture or whatever you're doing, there's a way to look at it from a yogic perspective. Because, again, this is not about bending your body and being a pretzel or doing handstands or all these things. It's about being a certain way of being within yourself. And that anybody can do. That's what this channel is going to be about. And I am so excited to get to know you all and to grow and to help you grow and to work through this life and figure out what we're doing together, because there's so much that needs to happen in this world, and the biggest thing that needs to happen is for each of us to choose to grow. So since the best gift you can give to anyone that you care about is for you to become the best that you can be, so we're gonna do that together, and I am super excited. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like, and go ahead and put some comments of what kind of things you would like to cover, whether it's stress or something like that. Like, what do you want to cover? You tell me and we'll make videos about that. But until the next video, I'll see you then. Bye.